friends. Welcome to the Financial Planning Vicennial, age 57, as recorded from my basement. We have earned ourselves another work from home order, so here I am. We were joking this morning, Darcy and I, that last time they put us in, it was December, and we lasted through till June. And so now we're starting in September, maybe we'll go through till March. They're almost forcing my generation to behave in the way of a snowbird, right? Pretty soon, you spend enough winters working from the basement, you're going to be like, why am I in Canada anymore? This doesn't make any sense. Anyways, that was our little joke. So here we go. For some columns in our Vicennial, they will be very specifically, I guess I should bring my mic over. There it is. For some columns in our Vicennial, they will be very specifically tied to structural, tax, or investment rules dictated by that age. Other columns, like this one, will be a bit more personally influenced. There we are. When I am 57, my parents will be 85. So our financial planning considerations for a 57-year-old then is how to plan for having 85-year-old parents. We're going to look at these three areas together: power of attorney, personal directive, and living with dignity. A power of attorney document is the thing that grants authority to someone else, the attorney, to manage the financial affairs of the donor, the person donating the authority. A general power of attorney ends automatically if the donor becomes mentally incapable, whereas an enduring power of attorney endures through mental incapacity. The power granted by a power of attorney can be very broad, authority, but under no circumstances can the authority alter the testamentary disposition of assets. This means where stuff goes if the donor dies. It est no changing beneficiaries on life insurance or investment policies. So if you are 57, the first planning item to consider is discussing with your 85-year-old parents who their attorney is, according to the power of attorney document. What happens if it's you? An attorney is required to act with a fiduciary duty, which means that they must put the needs of the donor first and the eventual beneficiaries second. Their own interests must be set aside. As an attorney, you want to get eased into their financial affairs while the donor still has capacity. Ask about and get documents for their investment accounts, their life insurance policies, any businesses that they're a shareholder in, and other properties such as real estate and bank accounts. You'll want to meet with their financial planner and their lawyer to review their estate plan. To review their estate plan and their will, so that while you're in your role as attorney, you can act in balance with both their current financial needs and their estate goals. If your parent is living independently, you can also encourage them to transition their mail to a post office box near to your physical location so that you can collect it and help them review it. This is especially important for government documents as they consider a transition to assisted living, because assisted living residences can't accommodate mail forwarding. You'll be able to assist them in downsizing their assets, helping them to sell items they no longer use, and gifting treasures of sentimental value. Attorneys are required by law to maintain banking and bookkeeping records, and sometimes the easiest way to do this is to add the attorney as a joint holder on a bank account. For this, note that the law assumes that the attorney holds the account in a presumptive trust on behalf of the donor. If the intention is to grant the attorney full ownership on the bank account on the donor's passing, then this must be very clearly stated in writing. Otherwise, it is assumed that the joint ownership is for convenience and management only, and the entire account will be included in the donor's estate. Next, personal directive. A personal directive is the sister document to a power of attorney. In the personal directive, the donor is appointing an agent to make healthcare and personal decisions on their behalf, including where they live. Depending on your province, the donor may be able to register their personal directive with their provincial health authority so that they know who to contact in cases of emergency. For the personal directive side, we're going to focus on personal care arrangements and specifically housing. There are generally 5 phases of housing that we experience in our lifetimes: under the shelter of your parents, independent living, independent downsized, assisted living, and finally supportive living. Currently, my parents have a little orchard on the north side of Summerland, BC. I imagine, though, that when I'm age 57, they'll most likely be transitioning from phase 3, independent downsized, like a condo, into phase 4, assisted living. Assisted living residents are still mainly independent, but receive some assistance with things like meals, medication management, laundry, transportation, and potentially bathing. When we look together at options for the new assisted living residents, here are some of the things to discuss. How is their current health? Is it worthwhile moving into an assisted care facility, or should they be moving directly into supportive living? A second move too soon could be stressful and upsetting. What opportunities are there for... Oh, come on. There. What opportunities are there for activities? Where my dad is shy and would do well with just a variety of puzzles and his Kindle, my mom is very social, and I could see her enjoying a structured and diverse activity schedule. Is the menu specifically catered to seniors, and are there alternative options available? My dad can get indigestion. Becoming vegetarian is inevitable, Dad. I know you're reading this. So we may consider meeting directly with the kitchen staff to see if they can make accommodations. How secure is the living environment? If there's night staff on duty, even if it's custodial in nature, that may give peace of mind. What is the cost structure? Come on, one more. There we go. Some facilities operate as a percentage of income with a rent cap for higher incomes, whereas others may have pricing depending on the level of care needed. Where does their desire for comfortable living meet with a lifetime of budgeting and being frugal? What has their living space naturally condensed to? If their domestic lives are still active beyond the bedroom, kitchen, and a living room chair, would an assisted living residence provide sufficient space? Some residences will allow you to come in and measure walls ahead of time to see what furniture can fit. Residents are encouraged to personalize their space as much as possible, but they still need to think about what they might want to bring. What storage options are available in the residence, and what items would they be comfortable storing close by? For example, Christmas decorations could be tubbed up and kept at a relative's house. Are any pets allowed in for visitation? Do they need to keep their landline, or would they prefer just a cell? What other modern technologies, so for today like FaceTime and iPads, should they consider as a way to connect with family? And would they prefer an assisted living residence where a church service is available on site? My parents both grew up in a fairly strict religious household, but they've never been judgmental of other races or religion. They'd probably prefer and actually quite enjoy a diverse set of spiritual teachings. Other parents might prefer that their specific denomination was supported. So the planning goal for someone age 57 is to see if you're the agent listed on your parents' personal directive and to start having these conversations with them. Compatible assisted living can be a significant factor in the quality of life, in their quality of life, and in yours too, because you won't have to worry as much about them. Next is living with dignity. Even if you have all the legal documents in place that allow you to make a financial decision for them, it's important to encourage your parents to age with dignity and independence. Of course, I'm going to come at this from a financial point of view, and the point would be to make sure that your parents don't have any guilt over how much money it costs to care for them. If one or both parents requires additional levels of care and moves into an assisted living facility, consider helping them file an involuntary separation application for their old age security, which could increase each of their monthly pensions by about $60 a month. If you are taking time off work to provide care for a family member who is critically ill, you can consider applying for EI caregiver benefits to help support your own income needs. And sometimes one sibling is more able to take care of their parents than others due to location or availability. So consider creating a family financial plan, which would look to spread the costs of caregiving expenses equitably. This can include out-of-pocket financial costs for the sibling doing the most hands-on care, or it could include a discounted rent amount if there's a sibling living on site to assist with care. And because we have to go there, at age 57, it's time to make sure that your own personal financial plan includes instructions on who should care for you later in life and how you would best like to be cared for. You can consider long-term care insurance, although the options are somewhat limited in Canada, or you could make plans to live in your independent downsized years closer to those who would be most likely to care for you. One of my clients is amazing at sound bites, and he once told me, paraphrasing this, "The best thing that I can do for my children is to maintain my own health." So, if you are age 57, it's time to start consciously planning to age with dignity. For more information on planning to care for your parents, or if you have any questions on building a family financial plan, speak to a registered financial planner today.